Good evening, everyone. I want to apologize real quick because for some reason it was not letting me go live in the group. So I'm going to do just a quick video for you and share the information with you that I was going to share in the live video. Again, I am truly sorry. I know that many of you were waiting to get on this discussion about real foods and emotions. Let me first introduce myself. My name is Heidi Keenan. I am part of Team Triumph, but I am the CEO and founder of Team Elation with Beachbody. I'm also a personal trainer, group fitness instructor, and I've been married to my high school sweetheart for over 23 years now. We have 2 adult children, but we are really in the empty nesters chapter of our life. So we're enjoying this chapter and finding new things to do to keep ourselves busy and occupied and finding a great balance in life now. So we currently have evolved into what many people consider a real food lifestyle. We eat very minimal processed foods. There's some weeks where we don't eat any processed foods. There are occasions, we're not 100%, we're not super strict. There are occasions where we eat pizza or we eat ice cream. But for the most part, I would say probably 85% of the time, we are eating real whole foods as close to as it is meant to be created as possible. And when I say that, I mean real food is food that you can pick wherever it's from and eat it that way. Your fruits and your vegetables and well-raised animals. I could go into all-day discussion regarding meat and how it should be well-raised and farm-raised and not factory-farmed, but that's for another time. Today what I want to talk to you about is how food actually affects our hormones. And I put a little post in there earlier about food and depression. So depression is one of the biggest problems in our society. That was part of the post that I did. Leading into that, going further into it, annual cost in 1985 were $240 million for antidepressants. Today, we spend over $12 billion on antidepressant medicine for people. So that just tells you that today's medicine is definitely not helping our society and each other, and we need to look further into that. And one of the statements, Hippocrates states, food is our medicine and medicine is our food. And it's so very true. When we look at food, we really should be understanding that that is our health. That's what drives our health. Our health actually starts with our gut, and our gut and our brain are very much connected. They're connected by a certain nerve, and that nerve is in constant communication. For example, I'm not sure if you knew this, but if you were to receive a traumatic brain injury, you'll probably end up also with gut irritations and gut issues because they're so closely connected. 80% of your immune system, if not higher, is connected to your gut. So, and we truly are what we eat is what we are. So if we're eating garbage, our gut, our immune system, everything is garbage. So, let's see. Some of the things that I wanted to talk to you about was there was a meta-analysis done in 2010. It was determined that obesity increases the risk for depression, and depression is a predicative measure of developing obesity. So they're connected, very, very connected, obesity and depression. Again, because most likely, if you're dealing with obesity, it's because of the types of foods you have been eating, unless there's a medical issue, and that food that's in your stomach and in your body is not helping you be nutrient efficient. So it's causing disruptions in your system, which leads to the depression and the anxiety. But I'm going to get a little bit further into it. So what happens is when we eat processed foods, our body doesn't understand what it is. And in some cases, it actually can try and attack it as if it's invading our system, which overworks our immune system. And that's where a lot of you can develop the autoimmune systems, because your immune system is constantly in overdrive trying to deal with these foods that you're putting in your body, and your body doesn't know what it is. So it causes a systematic inflammation. And what happens is the systematic inflammation in your body, again, when something is inflamed, your body spends a lot of time sending signals and energy and oxygen to that area so that it can heal it. And it's overworking, and it leaves room for other areas of your body. So if it's constantly sending signals to your stomach, other issues are going to come up. Means that you're not getting the right amounts of oxygen and blood flow to the brain, to the heart, to the lungs, and those other organs are going to start having issues. One of the major factors is inflammatory cytokines. These inflammatory factors have been proven to play a role in insulin resistance and increased risk of cardiovascular disease. Now, I don't want to get way into all of this really sciencey stuff. I absolutely can if that's what everybody is looking for. But these inflammatory cytokines are actually related to depression. They play a major role in depression. They also form factors, they're formed by factors such as stress, body weight, sleep. Sleep is really important. We should talk about that this week as well. Our body temperature, and the food that we consume. So when our sympathetic system goes through this, our stress response controller, there's an arousal that can lead to increased cortisol levels. And now we've all heard about cortisol levels. We've seen the commercials. You may not be fat, it may just be cortisol. Well, in some instances, that is, it is possible, not possible to be completely overweight because of cortisol, but because of how the cortisol levels are, why they're so high. They actually, because of the increased cortisol levels, it decreases the magnesium in your body, and magnesium is what can lead to, or lack of magnesium is what can lead to migraines and sleep disorders. That's why a lot of people you'll hear will take magnesium supplements before bedtime, because it helps soothe the body and they are able to get better sleep. Increased intake of sugar can have similar effect on the nervous system. Excess glucose in the bloodstream auto-oxidizes and forms advanced glycogen end products, which is AGE. This degenerates the brain function and causes an overproduction of cortisol. Again, back to the cortisol levels. So some of the food, let's get to the nitty-gritty, the food part of this. Some of the food intolerances that we deal with that can cause systematic inflammation are dairy products, legumes, and grains. Those are the three major ones. A large number of the population does not possess the enzymes capable of breaking down the proline proteins, the enzymes capable of breaking down the proteins in grains, especially gluten. So what happens is when we eat dairy, beans, or wheat, some of you may notice symptoms like bloating, gas, lethargic, just yucky feeling, definitely the bloating type of thing. So those are all symptoms that your body is not handling the food that you're consuming, and it's trying to fight it off. What happens is you end up with bad gut health. So you have an increase of bad bacteria in your stomach and a decrease in the good bacteria in your stomach. And the particles of food start breaking through the gut lining, and they get into the bloodstream. So you actually have food particles that will get into your bloodstream, and those are immediately, the immune system goes into hyperdrive because it's not supposed to be there. So it starts fighting off these little food particles that are getting into your system. Those food particles and that immune system attacking them, that's actually what is highly related to autoimmune diseases, MS, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. All of those types of disorders have been connected to gluten intolerances, dairy intolerances, and bean intolerances. Some of the better ways foods that you can eat that can help you get healthier gut is fermented foods like kombucha. I make my own kombucha at home. Kimchi, sauerkraut. Again, you want to try and get as close to organic or make it at home yourself. The fermented foods have a probiotic in them, and they help. I'm sorry, I'm stumbling all over the place. I see my screen keeps going dark. They have probiotics in them that feed the good bacteria in your body, which kills off the bad bacteria because the good bacteria is now flourishing. Other products out there that can also help with that are, high quality probiotics, capsules preferably. Shakeology. Shakeology has probiotics and prebiotics, which means the prebiotics are what the probiotics feed off of. So it helps feed the probiotics so that the probiotics can then feed your good bacteria in your stomach. So what the most important thing is to start getting our gut health back to a place where it should be, which means that we need to back off the processed foods and get on to the real foods. There have been a numerous amount of studies out there that processed foods are related to cancers and other diseases, just heart disease and diabetes and all of these diseases that we're dealing with now that we didn't deal with 40 or 50 years ago is because of the foods that we're eating. Now, I've done a lot of research in real foods, and I would love to share all the information I have with you because I could probably talk all night long. But I promised that I was not going to do that, and since I'm not able to do this live, I want to get as much recorded as I can so that I can upload it for you. So what happens when we eat processed added sugar is that we get a fructose malabsorption. And lactose intolerance have been linked to the malabsorption of the essential amino acids that our body needs to run efficiently. And when you're low on those essential amino acids, you have serotonin deficiencies, which can lead to clinical depression, anxiety, ADD, ADHD, which is why a lot of holistic approaches, you'll see that children who have dealt with ADD and ADHD, they take out the food colorings, any food colorings. They are horrible for us. Actually, if you go over to Europe or whatever, Europe doesn't even allow, it's illegal for the food companies over there to use red number 40, yellow number 5, any of those, because they're chemicals and they're dangerous chemicals for our body. So America, for some reason, is the only one that allows that. So do your research on that one. So yes, the fructose malabsorption will cause the ADD and the ADHD and the, all of those things. You can find fructose. Obviously, it's high fructose corn syrup. That is the number one thing that you'll see in a lot of things. But there's over 50 names for added sugars into products. So definitely do your research to see what's in the food you're eating. Do your best. And I know it's not easy, and it's taken us a little while, and we're still evolving, and we're still learning. And there's times when I eat something, and then I look at it and go, ooh, probably should not have eaten that. But if you're not someone who, the big thing is listen to your body. If you're someone who has lactose intolerant or you're gluten intolerant, obviously you want to stay away from those as much as possible, as close to 100% as you can. If you're not dealing with those things and you're already in a healthy state, your body's in a healthy state, having them every once in a while is not going to put your body into a haywire kind of mess. However, if they're in your diet every day, you will definitely be dealing with some issues. For example, if you're having grains every day, if you have toast for breakfast or cereal for breakfast, if you have a sandwich for lunch, if you have bread with dinner, those things, having that every day, all day, is definitely putting a huge dent in your immune system, and it's really affecting, and you may even find that removing it for 30 days, if you're dealing with any type of depression or anxiety, you may see that decreasing. You may see your energy is up. You may see that you're sleeping better. All of those things, because they're directly related to your gut health. So I think that's pretty much all that I had to share with you. I had a few other things, but again, so I want to tell you what you can eat. Some of the things that you can eat are plenty of vegetables, first of all, are good for the gut flora. Try to do as best you can to buy organic. I know that that's not the easiest thing for everybody, and it can get expensive. But if you can't get organic, do your best to hit local farms or farmers markets, because those foods haven't been shipped, frozen, stored, or sprayed to be traveled across the country to get to us. Because I don't know if you know this, but tomatoes, when they're put in the back of the truck, they're actually sprayed with something so that they're very, very red by the time they get to us in New England. So if you want to buy tomatoes, buy them from a local farm, go to a farmer's market. Let's see, some of the other things. So fruit, dark green vegetables are high in folate, which can help with depression as well. Low selenium levels can also play a role in your mood. Foods high in selenium are quality meats, seafood, nuts, and seeds. Foods that are high in tryptophan that we want to include to help with possible deficiencies are beef, turkey, and bananas. Vitamin D deficiencies has also been linked to depression, especially seasonal. So we want to make sure that we get adequate sunlight. Vitamin D supplementation may be necessary depending on where you live. And again, what's really important for you all to understand, this is strictly the opinion and views of who I am. I've done a lot of research. You may have your own opinions. We have to find the lifestyle that works best for us. That doesn't necessarily mean that what I eat is the best for you or what you eat is the best for me. But I will tell you that eating grains and factory farm dairy is just, it's wreaking havoc on your body. So if you can, decrease that. I know it takes time to get to a good spot, but decreasing that and increasing the green veggies and the farm-raised meats and farm-raised eggs, make sure you're getting cage-free eggs. Those are all steps that you can take to get a healthier body. Again, probiotics too, the fermented foods. Try kombucha. If you've never tried it, it's very good. It's good for you. If you want more information on Shakeology, because that is nutrient dense, over 70 superfoods in that, talk to your coach that brought you in, invited you into this group. There's so many different aspects of health and fitness, and especially when it comes to nutrition, there's so many different views and so many different opinions. If you are dealing with a medical condition, especially clinical depressed or anxiety, diabetes, any of those things, please make sure that you're doing the research to make sure that your health is being put as a priority, and it's not just the doctors giving you medicines to make you think that that's helping, because most of the time it's just a band-aid to cover up what the real issue is. Check out different holistic doctors. There's more and more coming out and available. Check out nutrition response testing. Jody Ferrero-Rayton, Elliot Main does it. She can do a holistic approach of letting you know the organs in your body that are being affected by what you're eating. She can actually tell you what types of allergies you might be dealing or intolerances you may be dealing with. It's really awesome. So Natural Care Wellness out of Elliot Main does the nutrition responsing. I think that's it for today. Just remember, eat real foods, whole foods. They're good for you. Do your research about whole grains. I'm not a believer in them. I think the food pyramid is upside down. I think we need to minimize those grains that we're eating. They were created as a food for, during recession, the food companies wanted to see what they could make in mass quantities to help people survive. People survived, and now we're dealing with all of these other health issues because of it. So that's it for now. I hope this is great, good information for you. If you want to reach me and have any discussion about this, my email contact is HeidiJKeenan@gmail.com. Please, again, this is the opinion and views of myself. I'm not looking to argue with anybody. If you don't agree, that's perfectly fine. Just know that it's my opinion and my views on that. God bless. Have a wonderful evening.